Good morning, LBHT crew. Good morning, Rogue Nation. Yes, it's just me today. If you're waiting for it, oh, there we go. If you're over on Hendo's channel looking for his stream, he will not be here today. So just come over to Lunch Break Hot Take because I know you subscribe to both. I know you subscribe to both. All right. So it's just half of us today, which means you get half a show. Yes. Yes. These shows have always been meant to be 15 minutes long. I've had to push it back because we've had guests on, but today it's just your boy. I'll probably give you a little bit longer than 15 minutes, though. Let me say good morning to the chat. Melanated One in the house. Good morning, Melanated One. Says Ravens fans don't deserve Lamar. How nasty they talking about him quitting on the team. Lamar should demand a trade. Okay, we can talk about that in a second. Just Aloe, good morning. Says good morning, LBHTShow friends. It seems to me that if we fire Harbaugh, the Orr and Monken problems automatically go away. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second too. I'm gonna address both comments. I like this. We starting the morning hot. Eric, good morning, says good morning, Jose and Hendo. Salute. Yes, good morning to Hendo. Hendo couldn't make it today. He texted me early this morning. Look, man, we close to the holidays. All right. Imani, good morning. Salute. Zulu, good morning. Zeke Hokage, good morning. We got Reverse Osmo says good morning. Good morning to you. Cousin Davon says good morning. Appreciate the grind. Hey, we appreciate you, Cousin Davon. Salute to you. Okay, well, let me address these first two comments here. I like these comments. First one from Melanated One. Ravens fans don't deserve Lamar. How nasty they talking about him quitting on the team. Lamar should demand a trade. If we're being honest, every fan base does this, right? I mean, we're isolated here in as Baltimore fans, so we get all of that, right? But you know, Eagles fans are saying the same thing about Jalen Hurts, and he coming off a Super Bowl win. You know what I'm saying? You got Matt Stafford used to catch this all the time in Detroit. He did leave though, and won Super Bowl. So I mean, that kind of goes to your point. But you're always gonna have that element. You're always gonna have that element that doesn't like a certain player, right? It doesn't like the quarterback, and doesn't matter what they do, they're just not going to root for him. So anytime the team is doing bad, it's going to be on him. And it is kind of wild that they talking crazy about him because he was playing fine until he got hurt. And when he gets hurt, it's he's faking. Well, okay, whether he's faking or not, we should have won the game. And you're letting everybody else off the hook. And this only goes back to the point that me and B have been making since we pretty much started the show, is that Lamar Jackson is going to get all the praise and all the blame for wins and losses. He's the person that you're really depending on to win these games, and you need to surround him with all the talent and protection that he needs. You can't throw him out there behind the worst O-line in the league, the least paid O-line in the league, and say, go out there and make it happen. Make it happen with your feet, right? That's not a plan. And I've heard that a few times. I've heard people say, oh, well, it's because, he can make things happen with his legs. They figure they don't have to spend the money on O-line. Well, yeah, you're being lazy. I'm sure that's what they thought. That's a lazy plan. So that means you're not doing your job as a GM. That means you're not doing your job as a coach. You're just expecting the exceptional player to bail you out. What's your job? Right? So that's where the defense comes from. I know people ask that about us a lot. Hashtag defense. Don't you guys hate defense? No, we love defense. Baltimore is a defensive city, right? That's how we came up. Ed Reed is one of my favorite players of all time. Ed Reed and Charles Woodson are two of my favorite players of all time. All time. I love defense. But this is a different era. Our best player on the team by far is Lamar Jackson. If we had a Ed Reed and Ray Lewis type player on our team, I'd be like, yeah, go ahead and keep stacking that side because they're gonna close these games out for us. But they don't. They do the opposite. Even when our defense was good under Mike McDonald, we didn't expect them to close out games for us. We were still looking for Lamar Jackson to go out there and play great. Right? So defund defense pretty much means stop putting all your money and resources into that side of the ball. You have enough, good or worse. You have enough over there. You've done enough over there. It's time to invest in the offense. All right. Who else we got in here? Garrison, salute. He said they lost on purpose. I don't know if they lost on purpose. SV Cam, good morning. Martavius, good morning. Says our organization is a joke now. They've been a joke for a couple of years. Let's just be real. They've been a joke for a while. They've been winning in spite of that. Who else we got here? Just Alice says, I just want EDC picking my new head. I don't want EDC to pick my new head coach. I don't think EDC's job is in jeopardy. So it'll probably come to that. And Zulu, thanks for subscribing. Appreciate that. Yeah, let me take a second before I get to my next point. And I have some things to go over. I can already see this is going to be longer than 15 minutes. So you guys, Merry Christmas. Boy Wonder, good morning. It says, at this point, I kind of want Lamar to leave too. So then when the Ravens continue to lose, the media will be forced to blame something else. Lamar deserves better. I hear you. I still believe he can win here. We just need to change the coach out. Good morning, Yolanda. Good morning. Thanks for coming through. I be saying good morning. Appreciate y'all coming through. All right. That's what I'm talking about. I got Sutton for Purple Rain Podcast. Good morning. I appreciate you coming through over in Texas. I think you guys, Texas is an hour behind us, right? I think it's like 5:30 over there. Almost 5:30. Salute to you and Alex, man. Watch your guys stream yesterday. You'll see me and Sutton later today on the Ravens Roundup over on the Sip Totality channel. All right. So make sure you go subscribe to Purple Rain Podcast. 5:30 a.m. in Texas. Yep. I used to live in Texas. I was stationed in San Antonio for a little bit. I love that city. I loved it. I had a lot of fun. And he's over. I think you're over in Houston. I had a lot of fun in Houston too. Kevin says, morning. The whole team looked sorry after Lamar went down. New coaching and build that line. Also keep Kolar. He is as key to the run as Ricard. I think Kolar should have gotten paid before Mark Andrews, over Mark Andrews, not before Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews should not have gotten paid. He should have been traded. Mark Andrews has no value at this point. He can't, like, he used to get it done in the regular season. He's not even doing that anymore. Now he's doing what he does in the playoffs in the regular season. We don't need that. Y'all laughing. Y'all so mean. Look, make sure if you're new in here, hit that like button and subscribe. Also, the holidays are upon us. And if you're still looking for a gift, there's no better gift than patreon.com/LBHTShow. All right. You guys want to sign up for that? Kick in $5, $10, $20 a month, whichever suits your needs. We have perks for every level. For just $5, you get access to the Overtime Show. That happens every Wednesday after our main show. And we talk about all kinds of topics, a little bit more serious topics, sometimes fun topics. You know, it's a mix of everything. So go check that out. Also, you get access to our Discord channel. And the thing about the Discord is we're trying to build a community over there. So even if you pay $5, just for the month and decide you want to cancel. We don't kick anybody out ever unless you do something to get kicked out. So you're always part of that community, if you want to be. All right. If you're looking for something for free, LBHTShow.com. All right. And sign up for the newsletter. Okay. Those are two good ways to support this channel. Over on Hendo's channel, it's patreon.com/ROUG. All right. Same thing over there. He does a lot extra content for you guys. All right. I want to address this other comment, and then I have a couple things I want to discuss. Just Alice says, "Good morning, LBHT show friends. It seems to me that if we fire Harbaugh, the Orr and Monken problems automatically go away." Yes, that's why I don't really put too much stock in Orr and Monken, only because we've done this dance too many times already with Harbaugh. I mean, these arguments predate Lamar Jackson. We had these issues all the way back to our Super Bowl year, even before that, with Cam Cameron. For those of you who remember Cam Cameron used to be our offensive coordinator. He used to be, before he was our offensive coordinator, he was the head coach for the Miami Dolphins when they drafted Ted Ginn Jr. the first round, and he got booed for that. They were good friends. He was terrible for the team. He was a big part of why the players had the mutiny, the famous mutiny, because they're just running plays that were just ridiculous. And Quan Bolden and company were like, "We're not doing this anymore. This is dumb." Okay. And John Harbaugh was forced to fire him mid-season or towards the end of the season. They had to fire him because the team wasn't going to go any further with them. He wasn't Teflon John back then. He was just John, and he could get clipped too. So he had to fire his friend. Jim Caldwell took over, and the rest is history. They went on to win a Super Bowl. Jim Caldwell was the offensive coordinator for the next year. Didn't do a great job there. He did okay. And then he ended up getting a head coaching job with Detroit. And then from there, we had not Greg Roman. What's the guy's name from Denver? Kubiak. We had Gary Kubiak, who was great. And then he went on and got a head coaching job at Denver, and so on and so forth, right? So we went down that rabbit hole. Just giving you a little history. But under Lamar, Marty Morningwig, which from the jump, I didn't like that. Okay. And he wasn't great. So we blame Marty Morningwig. We say, hey, he's going to hold back Lamar if he stays here. We get Greg Roman. Everybody's happy with Greg Roman that first year because, we got MVP year out of him. Me and B were not fooled by that. We saw the work he did with Colin Kaepernick. We knew his limitations, and we were like, all right, cool. Now get rid of him. And then you guys caught up to what we were saying, and you're like, yeah, get rid of this guy. He's no good. Now we got Tom Monken, and we're saying the same things about Tom Monken. He's not as bad as Morningwig and Greg Roman, but you're seeing just these things about him, and you're just like, we got to put some blame on him. But it all stems from the head coach. Okay, we don't have to sit here and say fire Tom Monken. We don't have to say fire Zach Orr. That's not going to fix the problem. The problem ultimately is the head coach, and that's going to lead into the first thing we talk about here. We talked about a lot, but I want to bring this up. I screenshotted a few things. Harbaugh. Let's talk about Harbaugh's comments on not playing Derrick Henry. Okay, Harbaugh doesn't like to take accountability. Okay, and this is when Jazzy Baker was asking questions. Everybody's asking questions about the play or about that fourth quarter where Derrick Henry didn't touch the ball after he scored his touchdown. Okay. Harbaugh, quote, "We're talking about 6 plays. I'm not defending all that, but it's not just as simple as Derrick Henry didn't play the whole quarter." Harbaugh said he understands the criticism. It is that simple. It is that simple. It's 6 plays. You're talking about 6 plays, right? The plays that he didn't get in there, that they ran the ball, he wasn't in there. It's 6 plays because he wasn't in there. It's 6 plays because you weren't able to pick up first downs, right? That's what he was doing when he was in the game. That's what the defense was afraid of when he was in the game, right? Even if you're not handing him the ball, they have to commit to stopping him the way he was gashing them throughout the game. You do a play action, they bite on that. That gives us more opportunities to get first downs and to score. But you took them out. So Harbaugh is talking to you guys like you're idiots, right? Like we're idiots. Let me get the super chat from Massive B. Hey, salute. Appreciate you. Says the way CMC was used all game by Shanahan versus the Colts is how I picture Henry should be used. Infuriating. Facts. That's exactly how Henry should be used. Use him until he gets stopped. That's the thing that gets me. You didn't even give him an opportunity to, for them to stop his momentum. It wasn't like, okay, he was doing well, now they kind of figured it out, let's take him off the field, right? No, he was hot. Mike Vrabel was throwing a fit. Defense was throwing a fit because they couldn't stop him, and you just took him off the field. Why? Queen, what's going on? Says I think Harbs has dementia. I think he's just stubborn as hell. Jay says likely outburst after the game. The locker room is done. Likely outburst. You talking about Isaiah Likely? Huh. Okay, that's the most he's done in weeks. Then, if that's the case. Luke Luke said he forgot about Henry when he said 2 years ago he would never forget about Henry, that he should be fired if he forgot about Henry. Yeah, he did say something like that, but he didn't mean it. C Iron Addict, what's going on? Says funny how we need hope now. Yes, I know. I put that in the thumbnail. Last hope, we're getting to that. I'm addressing a couple of things, and then we're talking about our last hope for the playoffs. Because surprising enough, it ain't over. Another comment. This is where I start to get really irritated by John Harbaugh and his smugness and just his unwillingness to take any accountability whatsoever. All right. John Harbaugh doesn't blame himself. He blames other people. He does other people under the bus. So Harbaugh said that running back coach Willie Taggart and Derrick Henry discussed starting the series with Keaton Mitchell. Harbaugh said he should have interceded and said put Henry in the game, but that's tough to do in real time. First of all, Willie's name should never be brought up when discussing things like this. Willie Taggart is a running back coach. Willie Taggart has no control over strategy. You know what I'm saying? Willie didn't decide, hey, Henry, you're not going to go in here. I know you've been killing it, but I think it's Keaton's turn. Right? So for him to say, oh, well, him and Derrick discussed it. That's their job now. Running back and player, it's their job to figure out the rotation. No. And this last part here I want to discuss, because this is something that John Harbaugh has done for well over a decade. And you have to understand, when John Harbaugh started here, social media wasn't a thing. And when he started, you didn't have that many former players and former coaches in media to question what you do, right? So when they used to say, and this is similar to what Brian Billick used to say when he was here, right? Like, oh, you guys don't understand how hard it is to win games. You guys don't understand the ins and outs. You guys don't understand. You don't understand. He always talks like we don't understand the game, right? So when he says that's just tough to do in real time, it's tough to say, hey, put Derrick Henry in the game. Okay, well, there's a former head coach that disagrees with that, and he discussed that after the game. Now, I got this clip from Coach Evans. If you're watching or listening, I stole this from your video yesterday. You did an excellent job, and I was like, I'm just gonna clip it right from Coach, right? So you get a little bit of Coach talking, commenting on this, and he pulled up a clip from Tony Dungy talking about what you should do when you don't see Derrick Henry on the field.
Put him in the game at that point when they were up 3 at that point in time, Coach. If you're the head coach, offensive coordinator, I understand. If you're the head coach, Coach Harbaugh, what are you saying with Henry standing next to you?
I'm looking over there, and he's standing next to me, and I'm saying, why are you over here? Are you hurt? And he says, I'm okay.
Go back in the game.
You're in the game.
That simple. It's that simple. All only thing has to happen. Whoever's idea it is to rotate, all John had to say is, lead it, flip the little thing down where he can talk. Let's go with Derrick. Lead Derrick in. That's it. It takes 4 seconds.
Takes 4 seconds. Coach Dungy said it. Coach Evans said it. We're not idiots. All right? We're not idiots. There was nothing that kept you from putting Derrick Henry in the game. Oh, Willie Taggart, it was him. Tom Monken, it was him. Yeah, I wanted to intervene, but what could I do? I'm only the head coach. It's just hard to do in the flow of the game. Tony Dungy, a legendary head coach, a head coach that has one of the highest winning percentages in NFL history, won a Super Bowl, and as a former player. He told you right there, if I'm coaching and I see Derrick Henry standing on the sideline with his coat on, I'm going over saying, what happened? You okay? You hurt? No, coach, I'm good. But get your ass back out there. Go tap Keaton. Go tap Keaton Mitchell. Tell him come off. Coach said come off. Right? I'm get on the headset. Like Coach said, hey, we running Derrick Henry. We run Derrick Henry. They can't stop him. We call whatever play, but we run it with Derrick Henry. It's that easy. He making it seem like it's so complicated because the flow of the game. You got like 35 seconds in between plays, right? You got time to figure it out. And it ain't hard to figure out when your star player isn't in the game what to do. That's not hard. If Lamar Jackson was healthy and he's standing on the sideline, are you saying, well, I mean, Tyler's already out there. I don't know. I don't know. Should we put Lamar back in? Yeah. Get out there. Get out there. John Harbaugh is a liar. He takes no accountability. I'm so sick of this dude, man. I'm so sick of him. What's going on, Slim? Salute. Good morning. We got 50 people in here. That's what I'm talking about. Hit that like button. If you're new in here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. All right. Just enough, John. Yes. Just enough, John. Exactly. Sutton, ain't got enough for Sutton. Sutton right here says bullets flying too fast for Harbs. 18 years in. Yeah. The king of preservation. Mm-hmm. Yep. But that's the thing. Yeah, you're the head coach, and when you're the head coach, you can't say, oh well, I wanted to do this, but it just didn't happen. That means you didn't want it. You didn't want to do that. Head coach is supposed to have control of his team, and too many times, and this goes back to before even Derrick Henry was here, when Gus Edwards didn't get the ball. Oh yeah, we wanted to run the ball more, but we didn't. I wanted to run the ball more, but it's the flow of the game. Yeah, I wanted to give the ball to J.K. Dobbins. It was the flow of the game. All right. It's always that. The thing that's keeping us in the game, you take us out of. But Lamar's the one that's choking. Okay. Lamar is the one that's coming up short in these games, even when he's not playing. Even when Lamar gets hurt and he's not playing, He's the focus, right? Oh, was Lamar really hurt? Yeah, he has a rib contusion, a serious contusion, and that's the type of thing that would keep us from work, and we don't have to move around at work. We wouldn't go into work. We had that type of injury, but Lamar's supposed to get right back out there and play, right? Um, Justin P, good morning. Thank you. I appreciate you. I be saying says at this point, everybody knows he is the one who decides who plays and who doesn't. Yeah. Terrible liar. And that's not if you just want the game to go that way, be a man and say it. Right? That's what I don't like about all this stuff. That smugness, that, hey, how dare you question me? All right, well then say that too. Right? Don't be a liar. You're supposed to be a Michigan man. Well, Michigan man, Michigan down right now. They, I don't know. I don't know if you want to be calling yourself a Michigan man right now. All right. We talked about that too on the Overtime Show too. Patreon.com/LBHTShow if you want to hear our take on the Sharon Moore thing. But man up. All right. Put your name on it. Say, yeah, I felt like that's the off-brand politician. You say that's how I wanted it to go. I had a strategy. I want to get Keaton Mitchell involved, and I felt like Keaton Mitchell has been playing well the last few weeks, and he's a good 1-2 punch. And I thought in that moment, Keaton Mitchell could have really broken the game open for us. And there was a couple plays where he almost did. Right? That's how you get answered. Now you got it wrong, right? But own that. This whole, well, I wanted to, but Willie Taggart told him to stay on the sideline, and then what was I supposed to do then? Weak. Michigan wants to hire him. Bye. Take that job. Oh, I would love that. Go ahead, Michigan man. Go ahead. Go take that job. They're calling for you. JR says JK called the coaches out after that Cincy playoff loss. Yeah. That's why I mentioned J.K. Dobbins, because he said, the ball's supposed to be in my hands. Not no QB sneak from 2 yards out that turned into a fumble return for a touchdown. J.K. Dobbins was killing them in that game. Why are you taking it out of my hands? These are coaching plays, coaching calls that just like even the players like, man, I don't know what happened there. I can't defend that. And J.K. Dobbins, and that's part of the reason why J.K. Dobbins ain't here too. He don't like being called out by his players, and he absolutely should have been called out. One last ridiculous quote from John Harbaugh, and this is on Emory Jones. And I sent this to our group, right? Our Ravens Roundup group, because a lot of them do film study. And I said, man, I hope when you get that tape, you break down Emory Jones's play, because Harbaugh here talking about Andrew Voorhees and getting hurt, and Emory Jones coming in to fill in for him. Harbaugh says that Andrew Voorhees' foot injury is day to day. Said he thought his replacement Emory Jones played quote unquote okay and has a great future. Okay, he said something similar to this last time Emory Jones got in the game. Said he looked okay, wasn't great, and he doesn't think that he outperformed Voorhees. Right, he's not outperforming anybody. Coach Evans broke down Emory Jones' tape, and he looked 10 times better than Voorhees. Did he look perfect? No, of course he's not going to look perfect. He's a 3rd-round pick, but he looked a lot better than Voorhees. And that's just off the few snaps that we saw him play. He played more snaps this game. I think this is the most snaps he played. I think I want to say like 13 or 15, something like that. We got to break down his tape and see if he actually played okay or if he played really good. I do know this. I know when Voorhees went out the game and Emory Jones went in, that might have been on the touchdown, the last touchdown that we got from Derrick Henry. And I know that Chris Collinsworth was talking about how athletic the offensive line looked. And he said, I mean, he was lying, but he was saying that we have the most athletic offensive line in the league. And he was pointing to that play that just happened. that play where Voorhees wasn't in and Emory Jones was in. Okay, so he liked the way they were looking. In part, that was due to Emory Jones, not Andrew Voorhees. What you call it? Good morning. Hey, salute to you. Finally caught alive. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate you. Appreciate you coming through. Imani says, and what was Mark launching the ball to? Man, Harbaugh addressed that too. He said, oh, he took accountability for that. And he said, yeah, it wasn't a smart play. I don't remember him saying that in the press conference. I'm not sure if they asked him, but what are you doing? We have a few seconds before halftime. All we're trying to do is get into field goal range. You caught the ball, go down so we can go try to spike the ball, run another play, get a little bit closer and try to kick a field goal. I don't know what he was doing. I don't. But what almost happened was it was almost a lateral and the Patriots would have gotten the ball and then they would have automatically been in field goal range. That's the type of buffoonery that we get with Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews has no more value on this team, right? Like he's a negative when he's on the field. He's stealing snaps. He's causing turnovers. He's not making plays for us anymore. And those touchdowns that he gets, those gimme touchdowns that people are like, oh yeah, he scored 2 touchdowns today. Anybody could have scored those touchdowns. Charlie Cole could have scored those touchdowns. Isaiah Likely, and he's not playing great, could have scored those touchdowns. Mark Andrews doesn't provide value to this team. He never provided value in the playoffs. Never, ever. He's been a detriment to this team in the playoffs. Now he's being a detriment to this team in the regular season. We were trying to make the playoffs. But let's re-sign him. We like our guys. You mean Skid Mark? You guys are so disrespectful. All right. The last hope, and then we getting out of here. Man, I've been going for 30 minutes already. See, Hendo's not even here. Ferris ain't here either. All right, we got to move quick here. I still got to go to work. Hit that like button. Also hit that subscribe button. LBHTShow.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter. It's free. Go to LBHTShow.com. You can get some merch like this, and you can sign up for the newsletter. All right. I know I haven't been putting them out regularly. My bad. Okay. You might get a little Christmas gift this week. All right. That's all I'm going to say. Also, patreon.com/LBHTShow. If you got an extra $5 after you're done all your Christmas shopping, treat yourself. All right. $5 a month. Get some bonus LBHT show. Get the overtime show. Get access to the Discord. Spend $10. Get yourself a coin. Look at that. Yeah. All right. Treat yourself this holidays. Okay. Last thing we want to talk about. So the Ravens have not been eliminated yet. Now we are in a very bad way because what we assumed was the Lions would take care of business against the Steelers because the Lions are also on the outside looking in at the playoffs and they're playing at home against the Steelers and they're going to handle business. It did not go that way. The Steelers took care of business. So now what we need to happen is, one, we need to win our game on Saturday against the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. I haven't seen the report about Jordan Love, if he's going to be ready to play or not. He got a concussion. It looked pretty bad last week against Chicago. It looked bad. So he may or may not play. Willis is a formidable backup. So it will still be a tough game even if he plays. But win that game. That's the first thing. Second thing, we need the Steelers to lose to the Browns. And that right there, you're like, it's over. But the Browns still have an excellent defense. Shedeur Sanders isn't playing great, but he ain't playing the worst either. And they almost beat the Bills last week, right? They're a team, and they've also beaten the Packers. They're a team that they can beat anybody. Anybody can be beat in today's NFL, right? And as good as the Steelers have fought back as well as they fought back, they're susceptible to these type of losses too, and it's a division game. Now, I ain't picking the Browns, but the fact that DK Metcalf, and I want to talk about this right now, DK Metcalf has been suspended. That doesn't help the Steelers at all. They really lean on this guy to make big plays, as you should. He's an excellent player. Now, what happened? The NFL is suspending Steelers wide receiver DK Metcalf 2 games without pay for physically confronting a Lions fan during Sunday's win at Detroit, per sources. Metcalf, who had reported the same fan to security last season, plans to appeal. Now, you guys saw what happened there. I hate how the media frames it as he punched the fan. He didn't punch the fan. He grabbed the dude and shoved them away. He didn't punch him. Okay. Now, I'm always skeptical as to what the fan said to piss off a player like that, because players don't usually just go out their way to put their hands on a fan. Okay. DK said that he said something. He made a racial slur and said something offensive to his mom or about his mom, something like that. Okay. Now, I found this video. Somebody posted this video saying, hey, this is what happened. This is our view of it. The fan didn't say anything offensive. I want you guys to look at it and give me your thoughts on, what you take from the video. I still have some questions, but let's take a look at a fan's point of view that was right next to the action.
Hey, DK, don't sign it. DK, don't sign it. DK, he about to throw that motherfucker away. Man, he knows that. Hey, DK. DK. Yup. DK. Yup.
That was the incident right there. Okay. He didn't throw a punch or anything. He grabbed the fan by his fake hair, by his wig, said something to him and shoved him away. Okay. I mean, still, you can't listen. DK, you can't do that. You can't do that. All right. From that, people say, oh, well, he didn't say anything. We have proof that there's no proof there. There's no proof that that guy didn't say what DK is claiming he said to him. You only hear what the fans that are taking the video are saying. You don't get to hear what that fan said to him. Now, somebody was saying that the fan was just calling him by his government name and he doesn't like that, right? Well, yeah, DK, you got to deal with that. That is your name too, man. Like, you walked all the way over there, man. Just ignore him. But the fact that he's reported this guy to security before leads me to believe that it was more than that, right? Now, did he go as far as to call him a racial slur? I don't know, but he said something highly offensive to DK. And this is my thing with fans, man. You can't cross that line. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't cross that line. You're there to watch the game. A little jabbing at the players, whatever. Okay, fine. That comes with the territory. But these are human beings, and you think, and you, when you go to these games, you want to treat them like animals behind a glass, right? Like you're in a zoo, right? You go to the zoo and your kids want to agitate the animals because that glass is protecting them. That's how a lot of fans act towards these players. I'm going to say things to offend them and piss them off, and they can't do anything about it until something like that happens. They get a hold of your fake hair, right? God's Favor says, every player, including the great Ed Reed, was on the exit list as soon as he didn't toe the company line. Oh, yeah, we're talking about John Harbaugh. Yeah. We moved on from John Harbaugh, man. Like, it's time for him to go. We're gonna have a lot of time after this week, possibly, to talk about John Harbaugh's exit. But DK, you just can't You can't do that. You have to maintain your composure. You have to you have to ignore that fan, report him again. Say, hey, that fan right there, get him out of here. We actually talked about something similar to this on the LBHT show. That super fan in Sacramento, the Sacramento Kings game, that was getting into it with Zach LaVine, right? And they had a little back and forth. The security said, all right, man, you got to go. And that was the right thing to do. And he made his case like, hey, I'm just a passionate fan, and we pay all this money to go see them, and fans deserve better. And he didn't bring his game, and I was just letting him know, ain't your job. Not your job. You're sitting behind the bench, and they have a timeout. They're huddling up, and you're sitting there screaming at them. Shut up. That's why fans shouldn't be that close. You're not part of the game. You're just a fan. Pay your ticket and watch. Right? If you're sitting in the nosebleeds, you're sitting a little further back, you can make all the noise you want. It's just crowd noise. When you're sitting behind the bench, you have to conduct yourself a little differently. And you getting into it with the player and you're distracting the player from what the coach is trying to tell them, that ain't gonna fly. Right? And again, you're saying things to a man that you're not going to physically get into altercation with, because there's that layer of security there. So they did the right thing in that situation, escort him. And you'll have basketball players do that a lot. They'll be like, hey, that dude right there, get him out of here. Get him out of here. Right? NFL players need to start doing that more. Players that are that close to the bench, and they're causing some sort of disruption like that. Now, again, it all depends on what you actually said. But if he's getting disrespectful and he has reported him in the past, man, get security, say, hey, man, that guy's here again, get him out of here. That's all you got to do. That's how you handle it. So DK has been suspended for 2 games. He's trying to appeal it. I saw something else. Our producer Adelia put in our Discord chat last night. DK's his guarantees are going to be null and void based off of this. Right. There's a clause in his contract says he can't, something that if he gets suspended or anything like that, misses a game due to his conduct, that will void his guarantees. Doesn't mean he's not going to get the money. That just means if the Steelers at some point decide they don't want to pay that money, they don't have to pay that money. And I hate how these contracts are structured, by the way, too. I actually hate that, because it's already hard to get the money that you deserve. It's hard to get guaranteed money in the NFL. And they can slip these type of clauses in there that void even the guarantees. So I think that's pretty slimy. Not a fan of that. And even though DK is on the team that I hate, I am an advocate for all players. So I'm standing with DK on this. I think that fan, I'm not sure exactly what the fan said, but I'm a trust what DK said and say that he said something offensive. And I damn sure don't think his guarantees should be voided. But him not playing helps out the Ravens. All right. And I'm going overtime, man. I'm going to give you almost 45 minutes. This is what happens when I don't have a partner here to check me. All right. And say, hey, time to go. Let's go. But DK not playing in that Browns game gives us hope. So if somehow that turns into a win for the Browns, that's a win for us if we beat the Packers. And then it comes down to the final week, the battle of the bums. Okay. And we still have a chance. So, I want to say watch one more week, but I will say it's optional. Okay. This is an optional week. If you feel like you can stomach it one more week, tune into the game Saturday night, see if we get the win, and then just, watch the Ravens and Browns game, do some hate watching there. And, you ain't got to hate watch, root for Shador, root for Myles Garrett. Those are good guys. Myles Garrett is a great player, and see if they can pull it off. I don't think it's going to happen. If you go into the mindset of it's not going to happen, you won't disappoint yourself. All right. And then we'll talk more about what the Ravens need to do this offseason after that. All right. I'm getting out of here. I did not discuss with Hendo a morning show for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve. No guarantees, but there will not be a live LBHT show tomorrow. We're going to have something pre-recorded. Also for the overtime show, we'll have something pre-recorded for the overtime show. Same thing for the following week. The following week is New Year's. We will not be live then either, but we will have some content for you. You know, Hendo always has content on his channel. So turn your notification bells on, and we're going to put these videos out as premiere. So we'll still be engaging in the chat. So check both our channels out. Hit that subscribe button on your way out. God's favorite says, imagine Harbaugh not blowing 18 fourth quarter leads in the last 5 years. That's 18 more wins, and Lamar was already winning 73% of his games. Add 18 more wins to that. Yep. You got it right. You got it right. That's a double-digit lead too, by the way. You know, just saying. All right, y'all. Have a great day. Be great. If you have to go into work today, hopefully it's a half day. If it's not a half day, give them 50%. All right. See y'all next time. Peace.